Hi, rhythmic, wonderful Sophia. You just heard me do something. This is called beat. Beat is central to our life. When you walk, there is a beat. When the rain falls on the window, there is a beat. When the wind blows in the forest, there is a beat. And today we will talk about something which is about beat. Today is 21st March 2026. It is the World Poetry Day, and all of us celebrate this day for expression of our feelings in words, which are the finest use of the words in our life. You remember we were singing with you the small poems like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, How I Wonder What You Are, or Jack and Jill Went Up the Hill, or Rain Rain Go Away. So all of these poems, they express the finest human feelings garbed in the words. So this is the finest use of words as a poem. Just imagine if story is a long walk, poem is like dance. A poem has three components. One is rhythm, the other is rhyme, and the third is imagery. Now rhythm refers to something which is like a cat on a mat, right? There is a rhythm in using these words. And rhyme is when there is a musical part in the arrangement of words. For example, the words like Jack and Jill went up the hill, there is a rhyme in this. And imagery. For example, when we say Jack fell down and broke his crown and Jill came tumbling after, it creates an image in your mind. So all poets use these tools. I am sharing with you these tools, so when you can grow up, you can use these tools as rhythm, rhyme, and imagery. Now you would wonder why I am talking to you about poetry. What you have to do with poetry? So what you have to do is, sometimes we have feelings which are difficult to express, and the arrangement of words express those feelings in a much imaginative and telling way. For example, my favorite lines are from a poem called Road Less Travelled by Rudyard Kipling, which says, years and years hence I'll be telling this with a sigh. Long ago two roads diverged, and I took the road less travelled by, and that is what has made the difference. Now if you go beyond these words, you see a person who is in a jungle and faces two roads diverging, and he doesn't know which road to take and which road will take him to a good outcome or a bad outcome. And he says, normally people will choose a road which is more travelled by. He says, I took a road which is less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. So leaders take road which is less travelled by, and that makes a difference to the lives of both the leaders and all others around them. So while we celebrate the Poetry Day today, I also remember the poets who have created the beauty in our lives. My earliest exposure to poetry was when we were reading Hindi poems in our schools. They're very, very imaginative. And when I grew up, I read the English author, I think it is 16th century author Chaucer, who wrote Canterbury Tales. And then from there, I read John Milton, which was in our syllabus. Then Shakespeare, which was also in our syllabus, and then some of the fine poetry by Wordsworth. Wordsworth was a poet of nature, And then there are mystic poets like Walt Whitman and T.S. Eliot, and recently Mary Angelou and Rupi Kaur of Indian origin have written some of the finest poetry. When you grow up, you will see how beautifully they have expressed their feelings, and I want you to learn these tools to express yourself. Now, when you grow up, you will find these tools very useful. Now, on the World Poetry Day, I just scribbled a quick poem which goes something like this. Today, the world is full of song. Today, the world is full of song, where every word can sing along. I will find a rhyme and let it play on Happy World Poetry Day. Cheers. So that is the power of poetry. And now the Baba task for you is sit down, imagine something, write a small poem, only 4 lines, that has all the 3 elements. There is a rhythm, there is a rhyme, and there is also imagery. And share it with your daddy and mom. And when we are together, we will again see your poem. I would strongly recommend sometimes in your diary write few lines which are similar to writing something in words, which reflect your sentiments. And it's not necessary that there is a rhythm in the poetry. Poetry is an expression of feelings, and you can have this is called, I think, something like open poem. So there is no meter, there is no rhythm, there is no rhyme, but very strong imagery. So use whichever tool you want, but do learn the art of writing poetry. I remember your dad was a very fine poet. He has a big collection of his own poems, and I think it enabled him to express his feelings without sharing with us. So once again, very happy World Poetry Day. Cheers, and look forward to be with you soon. Love you.